Enhancing health and well-being. The psychological symphony of exercise. In the quiet aftermath of a vigorous jog or the tranquil moments of a yoga session, there's a familiar serenity that washes over many of us. But is this calm just about physical exhaustion, or is there a deeper psychological narrative at play? Consider rhythmic activities that many of us instinctively enjoy, like dance classes with repetitive moves. Such actions bring predictability and a sense of control, often associated with positive moods. On the contrary, when thinking about high-stakes games or events with intense interpersonal competition, one might assume they'd offer the same uplift. Yet, such competitive scenarios are generally not related to positive mood shifts. So while a tennis match might give you an adrenaline rush, it might not bring the same mental tranquility as a steady-paced swim. Now, let's delve a bit deeper. The body, in its infinite wisdom, responds to physical stimuli in ways that influence our emotions and thoughts. Physical activity has been shown to cast ripples across our personality and cognitive functions, affecting the way we think, feel, and act. But how does this relate to the world of psychotherapy? Traditional psychotherapy and exercise may seem worlds apart, but they can harmoniously coexist. If we were to envision a scenario where exercise complements therapy, a few things become clear. First, while many might advocate for the psychological benefits of anaerobic activities, they don't always top the chart in offering psychological respite. Instead, a tailored approach based on an individual's specific needs and a precise diagnosis often brings about the most profound benefits. This brings to mind the delicate balance needed when prescribing exercise as an adjunct to therapy, akin to a chef carefully selecting ingredients for a gourmet dish. But as with any solution, there are those for whom this might not be suitable. The application of exercise therapy needs caution, especially for individuals who are obese, those with severe heart disease, or people whose high blood pressure remains defiant in the face of medication. In a study, participants were subjected to various intensities while cycling. An intriguing pattern emerged. Starting at high intensity and then easing into a more relaxed pace led to more positive feelings and a greater sense of enjoyment. It's reminiscent of a challenging mountain trek that leads to a serene summit, where the initial hurdles make the final calm all the more rewarding. Staying the exercise course. At the heart of every fitness journey lies a compelling promise. The allure of weight control, the dream of a heart untouched by diseases, the serenity that combats stress, the mirror reflecting a more confident you, and even the simple joy of movement, these are the chapters in our exercise book. But let's face it, many of us, despite starting enthusiastically, often bookmark our fitness journey and leave it unfinished. The pressing question then is, why do some of us drop off the path? It's fascinating how everyday reasons can dictate our commitment. The clock, ever ticking, sometimes screams a lack of time. On other days, our bodies, drained of energy, or our minds, void of motivation, seem to be the deterrents. While these reasons resonate with many, researchers dove deeper, seeking answers in the tapestry of theoretical models. One might ask, how do these theories help? Think of a close friend recommending a book because it changed their life. Their conviction might make you want to read it. Similarly, the health belief model speaks to our inner rationale, suggesting that if we genuinely believe in the health benefits of exercise, we're more likely to commit. Moreover, feelings of enjoyment also play a massive role in keeping us hooked. This perspective aligns closely with the theory of planned behavior, which posits that our intentions, combined with the expected outcomes like health benefits or joy, steer our actions. Yet, among these various models, the trans-theoretical model has a narrative arc that feels almost cinematic. It portrays our exercise journey in stages. Beginning with the pre-contemplation phase, where the idea of exercising hasn't even dawned, to contemplation where we weigh the pros and cons. Then comes preparation, the warm-up before the big show. Action sees us dive headfirst into the regimen, and if all goes well, we transition to the grand finale, maintenance. However, if you're waiting for a stage titled Action and Reaction, you'd be waiting in vain, as that's not part of this story. Drawing from these insights, imagine crafting an exercise program that ensures people stick around for the climax. The key is in the details, Sprinkle fun into the regimen, making it as enjoyable as a favorite song on repeat. Accessibility is paramount. If it's convenient, it's more likely to be a hit. Building a sense of community and camaraderie, where friends sweat it out together or rewards become the cherries on top, can be the magic potion for adherence. Tailoring this to the younger brigade, schools and communities wield immense power. Including parents in physical activity initiatives, or offering a curriculum emphasizing the essence of a healthy lifestyle, can sow seeds for a future generation that embraces fitness. However, suggesting that extracurriculars be eliminated for the sake of physical education? Now, that's a step backward and not part of the recommended plot. In the grand narrative of exercise, understanding the whys and hows of our commitment can be the difference between a story that fizzles out and one that sees a triumphant end. Injury rehabilitation, from prevention to recovery. Injury rehabilitation is more than just mending bones and healing muscles. It's a journey that heavily leans on the psyche of the injured. Just as a stressed machine is prone to malfunction, an athlete's physical well-being can be compromised by their psychological environment. It's essential for professionals in this field to recognize this intricate connection and create strategies that encompass both the mind and body. Understanding how stress can impact an athlete's vulnerability to injuries is both enlightening and alarming. So, what forms the nexus between stress and injuries? Stress can be a formidable adversary on the field, as it can disrupt an athlete's attention and cause a decline in peripheral vision. Imagine a tennis player so stressed that they fail to notice a fast-approaching ball, leading to a missed opportunity or even an injury. This narrowed focus, sometimes referred to as tunnel vision, is a stealthy threat in sports. Additionally, the physical manifestations of stress shouldn't be overlooked. Muscular tension, a direct outcome of stress, can hamper coordination. For instance, a gymnast attempting a routine might find their movements restricted due to tension in their muscles, increasing the risk of a fall or mishap. The rehabilitation journey. Embarking on the rehabilitation path is akin to navigating a labyrinth, filled with challenges but also opportunities for growth. Building a strong, trusting relationship with the injured individual is often the first and most crucial step in this journey. Once trust is established, education steps into the limelight. Guiding athletes through the nature of their injury and the expected recovery timeline can dispel fears and set clear expectations. However, armed with knowledge, an athlete still faces the emotional turmoil of the injury. The popular sentiment "winners never quit and quitters never win" epitomizes the sport ethic. Such beliefs can exert undue pressure on athletes, pushing them to return prematurely or deal with guilt and anxiety. To mitigate this, it's vital to equip athletes with tools to handle potential setbacks. After all, the road to recovery isn't always a straight one. Just as essential is the role of social support. Encouragement from peers, coaches, family, and friends can significantly temper the emotional lows of injury. But while optimism is a powerful ally, it's essential to strike a balance. Unrealistic expectations, masked as positivity, can lead to further emotional setbacks and hinder recovery. Research has unveiled some intriguing patterns concerning psychological factors and their correlation with injuries. It has been observed that athletes are more prone to injuries during times of academic stress, underscoring the necessity for balance in a student-athlete's life. Also, a direct relationship between shorter recovery periods, increased stress, and a higher incidence of injuries reiterates the importance of patience and comprehensive recovery. In a contrasting revelation, strong social support combined with low inherent anxiety plays a protective role against injuries, emphasizing once again the irreplaceable value of a supportive community for athletes. In weaving together all these insights, it becomes abundantly clear that the road to injury prevention and recovery is a blend of physical and psychological strategies. From goal setting and relaxation techniques to imagery exercises, the profound impact of the mind in the rehabilitation process stands undeniable. Eating disorders and substance abuse in sports and exercise. When diving into the realm of sports and exercise, one is immediately confronted with the duality of its effects, the countless benefits to physical and mental health, juxtaposed against the darker challenges of eating disorders and substance abuse. Both professionals and athletes tread a delicate line between ambition and well-being. To traverse this terrain effectively, one must be equipped with knowledge and understanding. Eating disorders, such as anorexia nervosa and bulimia, cast long shadows over the athletic world. Athletes often grapple with an array of pressures, both internal and external. Performance demands, weight restrictions, and standards, as well as critical comments about body shape and weight, can act as daunting precipitators. Furthermore, there's an undeniable influence from coaches and peers. However, it's essential to note that while these factors are prevalent, parental pressure isn't typically a driving force behind athletes' susceptibility to eating disorders. Curiously, when comparing the frequency of eating disorders between athletes and non-athletes, we don't see a sweeping generalization that applies to all. Instead, the manifestation of eating disorders in athletics tends to be sport-specific. For instance, sports that emphasize a certain physique or weight class might have a higher prevalence. Moreover, it's noteworthy that a significant percentage of athletes, regardless of the sport, engage in some weight loss behavior. This behavior isn't always synonymous with an eating disorder, but it does underline the overarching emphasis on physical appearance and performance in the world of sports. Exercise, though immensely beneficial, isn't free from pitfalls either. There's a possibility of developing a negative addiction to it. Imagine constantly pushing oneself, ignoring pain and fatigue, and becoming solely fixated on the rush of endorphins. To avoid such scenarios, athletes and exercisers should embrace a balanced approach. One powerful technique involves setting realistic short-term and long-term goals. By doing so, individuals can chart a course that is both ambitious and sustainable, avoiding the extremes that can lead to negative addiction. Addressing eating disorders in athletes isn't just about recognizing them, it's about providing a comprehensive support system for recovery. The journey involves multiple stages, acknowledging the benefits of recovery, identifying underlying causes and triggers, and seeking emotional support from loved ones. Combining these elements creates a holistic approach that not only helps athletes recover, but also ensures they're emotionally equipped to handle future pressures. Substance abuse also looms as a prevalent challenge, not just in sports but in society at large. Athletes and exercisers, like anyone else, may turn to drugs for a myriad of reasons, be they physical, psychological, or social. As guardians of physical well-being, sports and exercise professionals play a vital role in curbing this menace. Their influence isn't limited to their expertise but extends to their ability to mold societal perceptions and behaviors. By setting commendable examples, educating participants about the ramifications of substance use and abuse, and fostering supportive environments, these professionals can address the root causes that compel individuals toward drugs. In the vast ocean of sports and exercise, while the waves of ambition drive many forward, it's the undercurrents of challenges like eating disorders and substance abuse that need vigilant navigation. With knowledge, empathy, and proactive measures, both athletes and professionals can ensure that the journey is not just about achieving goals but also about safeguarding well-being. Overtraining and burnout. The pursuit of athletic excellence is akin to a dance on the edge. While rigorous training and relentless determination often lead athletes to the pinnacle of success, there's a precipice that's easy to overlook, the boundary between dedication and overexertion. Understanding the nuances of overtraining, staleness, and burnout is paramount not only for athletes but also for coaches, trainers, and anyone invested in the world of sports. Imagine a sprinter, every day pushing harder, faster, reaching near maximal capacities in each training session. Over a short cycle, this might seem like an effective way to push boundaries, but overtraining is lurking close by. When athletes expose themselves to such excessive loads in a brief span, their performance often plateaus or even regresses. This state of plateau, where it becomes challenging to maintain standard training regimes, is known as staleness. It's like a car engine that's been overworked. It starts to sputter and loses its usual efficiency. Yet, if the warning signs of staleness aren't heeded, athletes risk descending into the deeper, murkier waters of burnout. It's a more profound psychophysiological response wherein the athlete feels an overwhelming desire to withdraw from the pressures of excessive training and competition. Symptoms like a lack of caring, sleep disturbances, physical and mental exhaustion, and increased anxiety are classic indicators. However, contrary to some beliefs, an elevated resting heart rate isn't typically a sign of burnout. Interestingly, overtraining shares some symptoms with burnout, including sleep disturbances, mood changes, and even weight loss. However, deteriorating relationships aren't commonly a direct consequence of overtraining, although interpersonal relationships might suffer if the athlete begins to experience burnout. Diving deeper into the root causes of burnout and overtraining, we find that they stem from a medley of factors. Physical concerns, such as inadequate recovery or improper nutrition, play a role. Logistical issues like frequent traveling or lack of proper training facilities can add to the strain. Then there are the social or interpersonal challenges, team dynamics, coach-athlete relationships, or external pressures. Lastly, psychological concerns, including the fear of failure, self-doubt, or performance anxiety, can be significant contributors. Research has also thrown light on the connection between coaching styles and burnout. Coaches play a pivotal role in an athlete's journey, and their approach can either be a balm or a thorn. Controlling coaching styles, for instance, have been linked to increased burnout in athletes. On the flip side, when coaches foster an autonomy-supportive environment, athletes tend to experience lower levels of burnout. It's about striking a balance between guidance and freedom. Moreover, the nature of the coach-athlete relationship itself can be a protective factor against burnout. Research indicates that high school coaches who shared comparable goals with their players and had better interpersonal relationships were less susceptible to experiencing burnout. A shared vision and mutual respect can act as a buffer against the stresses of the sporting world. In this intricate tapestry of sports, where passion intertwines with performance, the understanding of overtraining, staleness, and burnout becomes crucial. Recognizing the signs, acknowledging the underlying causes, and adapting training and coaching methods accordingly can ensure that the pursuit of excellence remains a joyous journey rather than a burdensome chore.